Hey y'all, it's Elizabeth Weimiller, and we're looking at June 2024, all the insights and astrological things going on this month. I can't believe we are already to the month of June. I was just talking to somebody that was like, can you believe it's almost the end of May? Yes. I mean, no, but yes. This year's just flying on by, and June brings some interesting energy with it. It's not necessarily bad energy. I mean, anything is what you make it. So let's just jump right in. We are starting the month of June off, kind of ending May, starting June off with Mars transiting through the Gandanta. I know I've talked about it before, but if you're new here, I do Vedic astrology. I use sidereal for calculations. So if you're used to Western, some things will seem a little off, and that's okay. It's about 23 degrees different right now between tropical and sidereal calculations. Sidereal being 23 degrees behind Western tropical. So Mars is traveling through the Gandanta. This is a very considered an emotional point. It's anytime a planet transits from a water sign into a fire sign, because water can put out fire, but fire can also vaporize water. So it's kind of a weird point. It's considered an emotional knot. There can be a lot of emotions here. It can bring a lot of weather issues, both tears, extremes. It can bring, with Mars going through this point. So Mars is the one we were talking about right now. Mars is going through the Gandanta, going from Pisces, which is a water sign, to Aries, a fire sign. Basically, May 30th until June 3rd, it's going to be in this pivotal point. So just be aware of that. Be aware that emotions could be a little higher. Anger could easily ignite. Tempers could flare. Just some of the things Mars stands for going through this emotional point could be a lot. Could also see some extreme weather, thunderstorms, potential downpours, things like that. Mars enters Aries on June 1st, and it's going to be in Aries June 1st to July 12th. Mars rules Aries. It's at home in Aries. It's its own sign. During this transit, however, Mars will be receiving energy from Saturn that's in Aquarius. So Saturn is going to be aspecting Mars in its own sign. So this is just completely opposite energies. It can kind of make Mars and Aries an interesting time. Mars likes to be able to get things done. It wants to move quickly. It's generally rushing off without thinking through its plans or anything it's going to do. It's just going to jump into things, versus Saturn that really wants that plan and patience. So, excuse me, I have an itch and it won't stop. So these are kind of very, very opposite energies, and it could be this could bring indecision, not being able to make decisions. But just know the Mars transit of Aries is going to create more power. It's going to create, really this ability to push through obstacles, because you may just try to push ahead. Saturn will be the one laying those obstacles, because Saturn likes to test you, make you work hard. So just keep that in mind. But you are going to have this ability to get more things done. Now, because Mars likes to move so fast, Saturn may offset this a little bit, but maybe not. You could be a little more accident prone with Mars in Aries. Just know it could be a thing. Be cautious, use caution, slow down, leave extra time to get places. Mars and Aries can very much create a love of independence. It can be a good time to start new projects, because Aries is very self-starting energy attached to it. So Mars and Aries can be a time where Mars just wants to power ahead, get things done, and you've got that self-starting energy in the favor. Now, we are going to have a lot of energy in Taurus at the start of the month. We will have a stellium of planets in Taurus from June 5th to 6th, which can bring mixed energy. Kind of could go one of two ways. It's partially going to depend on what house that Taurus rules for you in your unique birth chart. Remember, we are all different. We all have different charts. We all have different planetary placements, and we are affected by those. So if you have nothing in Taurus, you may not be as impacted by this, or you might. It depends what house it is, what's going on, what dasha you're in. There's a lot that goes into this. So while this is high level for kind of the world, the only way to really see what's potentially going to happen for you is to do that personal unique birth chart reading for yourself. which I'll put a link below if you want to book a consultation, because that is the best way to figure out what it will mean for you. Now, back to the stellium in Taurus, June 5th through 6th. Again, it's going to be mixed because the sun is involved. The moon will also be there. Now, the moon is exalted in Taurus, so it's very strong, but the sun is kind of blocking the energy of a few planets. So these planets are considered combust. It's a period where the sun kind of burns out those planet energy. Venus is one of the planets involved in this. So the planet involved in this are Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, the sun and moon, and then Uranus is also there because it enters Taurus on June 1st as well. So again, there's a lot going on in Taurus. But Venus being combust all month except for June 3rd to 5th, when it will be Cassimi. So Cassimi is a time when the energy kind of like the sun shines out the energy of the planet that's exactly conjunct it. So Venus will be Cassimi June 3rd to 5th. This may bring about things you set in motion last August 2023. They could kind of begin to bear fruit, come to fruition during this period. It will bring with it a need to kind of be aware of what you're eating, as you could overindulge in food and drink because Venus can be very extravagant. Kind of jumping around, but the stellium can trigger events that could occur over the next 3 to 4 months potentially. So the house that it is happening in for you could be where events, kind of the meaning of them, the impact of them, things like that. As I mentioned, the moon will also be involved in the stellium. So when the moon and sun are together, that indicates a new moon. This new moon is, a time, it can be a time of fresh starts. It's a very powerful new moon. Great time to really set goals and begin manifesting what you want to create over the next month between now and the next new moon. It's the good time to start new things and really create ideas, get them out there. Best time to do this between new moon and full moon, and then kind of working on bringing things to fruition between full moon and new moon, which I know I have mentioned before, especially if you've watched my videos. Just know lots of energy going on in Taurus. I really recommend taking the time to meditate, journal, whatever you have found that keeps you grounded and lets you get any emotions out, any energy out. It's going to be really a powerful time to do all of that and to keep yourself grounded. So go stand out in the grass barefoot, go out in nature, do things like that. June 12th, Venus is going to transit into Gemini. This is a time when we can find that people are friendlier and more charming. It's a great time to go explore museums. You may find you want to learn new things. This transit could also foster a love of creative writing, or if you're in the tech world, creative coding. It could also foster sweeter communication. It's a very, very sociable time, making it a great time to get together with friends and have some fun, but just be very cognizant of the fact that, you could be more indecisive or fickle when it comes to matters related to love, especially if you're single or not married. You could see it if you're married, but more likely to see it if you're single and dating during this period. June 14th, Mercury will transit into its own sign of Gemini. This is a wonderful time for communication. It's going to be in Gemini from June 14th until June 29th. So a really quick trip through the sign of Gemini because Mercury is moving full speed ahead. It can really, when Mercury is in Gemini, it can result in really good speaking and communication skills. People that have it here naturally can be very persuasive, very well spoken. It's more focused on mental pursuits. You could find with this transit that you're more intellectually curious. Mercury will be combust the sun, though, during part of this transit, so from June 14th through June 19th. And it's a time we could experience more conflict, more indecision, more arguments potentially, or more like kind of restlessness and not being able to sit still. Just know, during that Mercury combustion, it's going to be really important to take your time making decisions. Write down a pros and cons list so you can visually see the list before jumping into anything. Now, that being said, Mercury is always pretty close to the sun, so it has stronger sunscreen, stronger ability to bear the heat. So Mercury is only combust when it's within 5 degrees of the sun. June 29th, Mercury is going to transit into Cancer. And yes, I am going out of order, sequential order date-wise, because I'm going to go by planets today. So June 29th to July 19th, Mercury will be transiting in Cancer. Mercury is not always comfortable in Cancer as it is ruled by the moon. And there are two very opposite planets. Mercury is more intellectual and does not always do as well with the emotion of the moon. So there could be a little bit of emotional confusion during this transit. And then it can also kind of bring up an active imagination, which can be beneficial, but it could also be potentially challenging, depending on how you use that imagination and how it comes out. One of the things with Mercury in Cancer is that it does bring up the ability for Mercury to get defensive, so just be aware of that during this transit. Also on June 14th, the sun, again, never far from Mercury, is going to move into Gemini as well. The first few days of the transit after June 14th, so June 14th, I would give it till probably June 18th, 19th. We could have like lower self-esteem, lower energy. The sun is weak as it transits into a new sign, but don't worry, it will get stronger as the month goes on. You'll like, it's a passing feeling unless your sun natally is in those early degrees of Gemini. Can be a great time with the sun in Gemini to learn things quickly. You can be more playful and creative and curious. It can be a very lighthearted time, and you could find that you're very busy during this month. Now, notice if you look back at your life, many of us are busy while the sun, Mercury, the sun, well, the sun is in Gemini, because it usually falls around the same time every year, that June 14th until like July 13th or 14th, when it then transits into Cancer. But just know, I'm going to recommend during the sun's transit of Gemini that you make a to-do list, focus on one item at a time and see it through to completion so that you make sure you get everything accomplished, because it can be a time where you find yourself multitasking and not actually accomplishing anything in the process because you're just jumping back and forth and never completing something. So that to-do list is going to be very beneficial for you. June 17th, Mercury and Venus are going to be conjunct in Gemini. This is a time where communication could be more pleasant and more harmonious. That being said, remember, the sun is also there. So it's a bit of a mixed bag on that one. And they are going to be conjunct in the lunar mansion of Ardra. Ardra is a harder lunar mansion. It comes with more lessons. Being someone that has planets in Ardra, I understand this. So just know that conjunction in Ardra is symbolized by a teardrop and is ruled by the node of the moon, Rahu. So Mercury and Venus conjunct in Ardra could stir up some emotions and indicate that communication could end up in tears. So also watch your words and think through what you're saying so that you're thinking of the other person involved in the situation. June 21st, we will have a full moon in Sagittarius. This is a time to be receptive to messages or insights you receive. It's going to be in the lunar mansion of Mula, and it's going to be really close. This full moon is really close to the galactic center when it is happening. So you could find that you're receiving insights, you're receiving messages, take them all in. You may find that you have more clarity around your life, especially on matters related to the house that Sagittarius rules in your unique birth chart. If you are someone who chooses to do full moon rituals, not everybody is, and that's okay. I know I don't always do them. But if you choose to do them, the best time to do them is June 20th and June 21st. Now, June 29th, we are going to close out the month with Saturn stationing to turn retrograde. If you have Saturn retrograde in your natal chart, which many do because Saturn's retrograde for about 4.5 months every year, it will get triggered in transit. Now, as you mature, Saturn retrograde gets less powerful because Saturn matures at the age of 35. So just know that. That being said, Saturn is going to force us to be more honest about the area where we have that natal retrograde Saturn. It will, it will be about taking responsibility for what's not working and ensuring you don't get lost in the fantasy. Saturn retrograde, as with all retrograde planets, when they go retrograde, Mercury retrograde, any of those, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, it's really going to force us to shift and take a deep look within. be honest with yourself, get comfortable being uncomfortable, but it's doing that to help us grow. So just know that. You may find that the house Saturn is transiting during this time ends up with delays or setbacks related to those matters. So Saturn is transiting in Aquarius right now in the sidereal system. So whatever house Aquarius rules for you is the one that could see some delays and setbacks. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but just if you're prepared for them, they're not going to be as stressful. So take a deep breath, know it's a time to reassess, but not a great time to begin new things. It's also going to be really important to manage your stress that can creep in around that area of your life. That can be done, as I always say, through meditation, exercise, or anything else that you found works for you. This is key. We have to do, if the thought of meditation stresses you out, it's not going to help you de-stress. Now, if exercise stresses you out, if you're one of those people that stresses you out, then it's not going to be a way to distress for you either. So find what works for you and use that in your favor. It's going to be important to know that Saturn retrograde may bring up kind of feelings of remorse or guilt. Don't stew in those feelings. Kind of let them go in, catch them, and then dismiss them. Say, you know what? Nope, I'm not doing that. The thing is, with life, you can't change the past. You can only learn from those lessons and move forward into the future. So take those lessons that you learned and use them to learn from them. Because if you don't learn them, you're going to get them again and you're going to get them worse. At least that's what I found. Others may experience different things, but that's my experience. So this is a period, embrace the hard work and the discipline. And if you do that, Saturn will reward you. During Saturn retrograde, it can be a period of intense weather patterns. This can include the air. So I would not be shocked if we saw more stories around rough turbulence. I know there's been a lot of stories coming out about clear air turbulence. We are likely to see more because Saturn is already starting to slow down a little bit as it heads towards its station on June 29th. One thing to note, so Saturn goes retrograde June 29th. It will be retrograde until November 15th. So that's June, high level. It's a month that could bring mixed emotions and events. It could be periods, we could see some periods of extreme weather or explosive events in some countries, which we're already kind of seeing the lead up to. And it's going to be really important to just live in the present, view each day as the gift it brings you, as the gift. Don't know what I was trying to say. Anyways, view each day as a gift, take it, learn lessons, stay grounded, and that'll really help you this month. Now, sign insights, sign forecasts, sign predictions. Easy for me to say today. Never know it was a Mercury day at the way I'm doing. Sign predictions. Aries, you are going to have more ambition and energy to accomplish your goals and to tackle things on your to-do list that may have been hanging over your head. You're going to feel able to tackle those tasks that have seemed overwhelming before, and you really have this ability to complete unfinished projects more efficiently. Be sure to take advantage of this opportunity. This is kind of be in effect for the next 6 weeks. So you've got some time. While you are able to do things more quickly, again, that comes with the potential to make you more accident prone. So just be mindful. Key for you, pace yourself. Don't let yourself get burned out. Take downtime, make sure you're getting sleep. And it's important for you to watch your temper and take a breath before reacting on impulse. So that's taking the night to sleep on it, counting to 10, stepping away, whatever you need to do. Taurus, make sure that you keep your home protected this month. Double check that all doors are locked and windows are closed before leaving the house. Again, this is not to scare you ever. This is just a potential heads up. It can be a good month for you to pay ahead on your credit cards to get in front of any potential debt. Take the time to look over your finances and reassess your budget as needed. So especially if you have not looked in on your budget in 6 months, a year, more than a year, take the time and look into it. It's especially important to make this happen this month because otherwise it'll be another few years until you really focus in on it. You may find that you don't sleep as well this month and that your sleep is more disturbed, leaving you waking up feeling more tired. Don't worry, this is a passing influence unless your chart says otherwise. And if you've never had your chart looked at, there's a link below to book a consultation and have your personal chart looked at. At the office, be careful what you share in confidence with others to avoid any backstabbing this month. Gemini, this month may see your cash flow increase as opportunities are going to present themselves to you. It's a great month to get out, socialize with your friends, have some fun, enjoy life. It's going to be really important to watch your back, though, as there are people who may pretend to be your friend that do not have your best interest at heart. So if you go out, meet someone, you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be my new best friend, just use caution, get to know them. Key this month, avoid get rich quick schemes. Someone will get rich. It will not be you. And don't loan any money to friends unless you're okay with not getting repaid, because it will not be a loan. It will be a gift. Cancer, this is a good month to promote yourself. It may be making it known about the projects you've accomplished at work or a project you are working on. Take action this month. Don't overthink decisions to the point of missing out on those opportunities. It's going to be important to remember to respect your boss or any other authority figure in your life. And it can be a good month to consider your career path and what you see as your next steps. Make a plan and start implementing it now for your next steps. If you're considering asking for a promotion, listen up, this is key. Be sure to gauge your employer's reaction before making demands. While things may work in your favor, it's never good to go about making demands, and that's especially true this next 6 weeks for you, Cancer. Leo, this is a lucky month for you. You will feel more inspired, but at the same time, you may feel that you cannot trust your inner knowing. It's going to be important to remember to trust your heart and your gut. It is a month to break the links to those who are controlling you or trying to control you and tell you how to live your life. Authority figures will come across as demanding your attention and respect, but be aware their motives may be unclear or hidden, and try not to get into fights with your boss or father this month, as the outcome will not be favorable. Virgo, support can come quickly this month, whether it be help from others or in the form of money. Your curiosity about a topic may lead you to dig deeper and learn more, and your mind is full of ideas and insights. Be sure, write these ideas down. Don't let them pass you by. They could come into your mind and go right back out the other side. So write them down, whether in the notes section of your phone, on a notebook, but don't lose the notebook. So make sure you know where you wrote them. You're going to feel more worried and vulnerable during this month, but this will pass. Check in on your health, as health issues may surface this month, and it's good to catch them early. This can also be a great month to do a cleanse or detox for your health. And by month, I mean 6 weeks. So just know that. Libra, you will find that your passions are higher between you and your partner during this month, whether it be marriage or business. Be mindful that if it feels like your partner is attacking your character, that you let them release steam, because they're likely projecting anger at others on you. It's going to be important to remain calm, cool, and collected to allow for a favorable outcome for you. Focus on projects that can be completed quickly this month, and pay extra attention to the details of contracts or agreements that you're assigning this month. So it could be beneficial to have someone else kind of look it over for you. Scorpio, take the initiative to improve yourself and your skills. There can be more tension and aggression at work, leaving you feeling uncomfortable. This is a good month to begin the exercise regime that you've been talking about. It's also, exercise is going to help you release any tension building up within you, which will be very important for you, Scorpio. You can be prone to overheating or getting sick with fevers or any heat-related issues this month. So just be mindful, put your health first, and you may find that health problems with pets may be more costly this month. So just be aware. And by month, I do mean next 6 weeks. So just know that. Sagittarius, make time to have fun this month. It can be playing with your kids. If you don't have kids, get out and do something fun or get together with your friends. Inspiration may come from unexpected places or even completely out of the blue. You may not see it coming. It may be while you're out walking or frolicking or whatever you're doing. You may feel that you have a clearer vision during this period, and this is a month to really show your passion. Key for you, Sagittarius, don't make any rash decisions. Take the time to cool down and sleep on them. Otherwise, you may come to regret the decision. Capricorn, this can be a great month to make sure that your home has a positive flow of energy and that there's nothing stagnating that energy. So if you feel like it's a time you've been having the urge to clean things out, this is a great time to go with that urge. Get them cleaned out. Release some of that stagnant energy, release some of that stuff that may be holding you back. It's going to be important to maintain your responsibilities to family, work, and any education you may be doing during this time. You could find that there's tension around your home with arguments or disagreements. Step back, wait until the tensions have calmed before having the conversation. Wait till everyone's in a better spot. Get your car checked out to avoid any expensive problems later, and be cautious while driving. It could also, just for you, be fun to add new accessories to your home, as long as they're within budget. Aquarius, this can be a really great month to start working out, as you're going to find your physical strength is higher. Let your energy out. Let your let your energy out. Let your energy out, but also let your inner child out to play and enjoy the most of life. Use this as a time to express yourself, whether it be through music, dance, writing, art, athletics, anything creative. It's going to be important to stay calm during your communications. Be that voice of calm and reason, but don't hog attention. If you have siblings, Aquarius, don't pick fights with them this month. It's just not going to end well. So if you have a fight you want to pick, wait 6 weeks and then you can go pick it. This can be a great month as well to focus on selling and self-promotion for you. Pisces, you will be more direct this month, which can bring with it the need to watch what you say. So being more direct can be beneficial. It does have its time and place, but it can also get you in trouble. So take time, think through what you're saying, think through who the audience is, and that'll really help you this month. One thing to note, you could be more impulsive with your spending this month. Be mindful and really work to stick to your budget. It will be important to take the time to sit down and enjoy your meals to avoid any digestive upset. So that is the forecast for the 12 zodiac signs. High level, again, your personal chart is going to make them different. If you enjoyed this, please share, like, and follow. I do this in my free time, so it means a lot to me. If you're interested, I will put links below for signing up for my newsletter if you're not already subscribed, as well as, and it's free, so you have nothing to lose, as well as the link to book personal consultations so you can really see what the impact is on your chart and what's really going on. With that being said, I hope everyone has a wonderful June. And for those in the Northern Hemisphere, we are headed to the summer solstice on June 21st. So enjoy the summer. In the Southern Hemisphere, enjoy the winter. But just enjoy, be in the present, enjoy life, stay in the moment, enjoy everything as it comes your way. And I will see each of you next month for July.